ask you a quick question. Have you ever thought about how companies like Netflix, Airbnb, or Spotify manage their data, run their application, and scale so efficiently? The secret lies in the power of the cloud. And for many top companies, AWS is a backbone of their success. With 63% of IT professionals finding it tough to recruit cloud talent, AWS certifications are your gateway to a high-demand career. Salaries for AWS roles in India are around 10 lakh rupees. And in US, they reach up to $120,000. Cloud jobs are set to grow by 28% in the next 5 years. According to Gartner, by 2025, 51% of IT spending will shift to the public cloud. So if you're looking to future-proof your career, AWS certification could be the ultimate step forward. With that said, hello everyone, let's dive into AWS certifications and explore how they can help you boost your career in the cloud computing world. In this video, I'm giving you deep knowledge on 12 AWS certifications across 4 different categories, covering the essentials like exam format, question count, and the ideal candidates for each certification. We'll also highlight newly added certifications, including the AI practitioner for foundational AI skills and machine learning specialty. Stick around till the end to discover which certification best aligns with your experience and goals, and the key skills you'll need to master to succeed in each exam. So, before we begin, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Do not forget to hit the bell icon to stay updated on the latest tech content from Edureka's YouTube channel. And also check out Edureka's AWS Certification Training, the link to which is given in the description box below. Now let's start with the introduction to AWS certification. So, let's understand what exactly is AWS certification now. AWS certification is a program designed to validate your skills and expertise in using Amazon Web Services, or AWS, the leading cloud computing platform powering businesses and applications worldwide. AWS offers a wide range of cloud services, from storage and computing power to machine learning and artificial intelligence. And AWS certification shows that you have the knowledge to leverage these tools effectively. Now we'll understand why is AWS certification important. So, why should you care about AWS certification? Well, it's industry recognized and highly valued by employers. Getting certified proves to potential employers that you have the skills needed to design, implement, and manage cloud-based solutions using AWS. And trust me, that can set you apart from other candidates. Whether you're looking to switch careers or advance your current role, AWS certification can open doors to new job opportunities, career advancements, and even higher salaries. Next, let's explore the various AWS certification levels and what they entail. AWS offers a total of 12 certifications across 4 levels: Foundational, Associate, Professional, and Specialty. Each level caters to different expertise, from beginner to advanced cloud professionals. Here's a quick breakdown of each category. First, we have the Foundational level. This is a knowledge-based certification for those who want a foundational understanding of AWS Cloud. The best part: no prior experience is needed for this level. There are 2 certifications here, the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner and the AWS Certified AI Practitioner. These are perfect for beginners looking to get started with AWS. Next is the Associate level. These are role-based certifications that showcase your knowledge and skills on AWS, helping you build credibility as an AWS Cloud professional, while no AWS experience is needed. Some prior cloud or strong on-premises IT experience is recommended. This level includes 5 certifications: AWS Certified SysOps Administrator Associate, AWS Certified Developer Associate, AWS Certified Solutions Architect Associate, AWS Certified Data Engineer Associate, and AWS Certified Machine Learning Engineer Associate. Moving on to the professional level. These certifications validate advanced skills needed to design secure, optimized, and modern applications on AWS, as well as to automate processes. For this level, AWS recommends at least 2 years of prior cloud experience. Here, we have AWS Certified Solutions Architect Professional and AWS Certified DevOps Engineer Professional. These exams are for advanced users who can handle complex AWS environments. Finally, there is a specialty level. This level lets you dive deeper and become a trusted advisor in specific strategic levels. For these certifications, check the exam guides on AWS sites for the recommended experience. Specialty certifications include AWS Certified Advanced Networking Specialty, AWS Certified Machine Learning Specialty, and AWS Certified Security Specialty. Each of these focuses on a particular field within AWS, giving you an edge in specialized roles. Whether you're just starting or looking to specialize, there is an AWS certification that's right for you. So first, let's see the foundational level certification. Let's dive deep into the details of the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner certification. Starting with the category. This certification falls under the foundational level. It's aimed at individuals who want to get a higher level understanding of AWS Cloud, even if they're new to IT or cloud computing. Then we have the exam duration. You'll have 90 minutes to complete the exam. Exam format is that the exam consists of 65 questions. You'll see a mix of multiple choice and multiple response questions. The cost of the exam is $100. Remember, pricing may vary slightly with foreign exchange rates, so check AWS exam pricing for up-to-date details. Then, where to take the test? You can take the exam at the Pearson VUE Testing Center or through an online proctored exam. The certification is accessible in multiple languages, including English, Japanese, Korean, etc. Now we'll cover what the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam tests on you. You'll need to know these points as well. First, explain the value of the AWS Cloud and how it benefits organizations. Understand the AWS Share Responsibility model to know what responsibilities lie with AWS and what remains with the customer. Understand security best practices for keeping data and also applications secure. Understand AWS cloud costs and billing practices to effectively manage and forecast cloud expenses. Describe core AWS services like compute, network, database, and storage. Lastly, identify AWS services for common use cases to solve different business problems. To prepare for the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam, here are the key concepts you should have the basic understanding of. First, AWS cloud concepts for a broad understanding of the cloud. Security and compliance in AWS, including best practices to safeguard data. Core AWS services that are most commonly used. And last is economics of AWS cloud to understand costs and also value. Now let's see the job tasks that are out of scope. For this exam, you are not expected to perform technical tasks like coding, designing cloud architectures, troubleshooting, implementing, or load and perform testing. And that's the overview of AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner certification. It's an ideal starting point for anyone looking to build foundational cloud skills and understand AWS at a higher level. Now let's see the AWS Certified AI Practitioner. Let's take a structured look at AWS Certified AI Practitioner certification, especially if you're aiming to validate your skills in artificial intelligence and machine learning on AWS. The category is the certification fails under the foundational level. It's meant for individuals who work with AI and ML technologies on AWS, even if they're not directly building solutions. The exam duration is 90 minutes. The exam format is you'll encounter 65 questions, covering multiple choice and multiple response types. The cost for the certification is $100. As always, check AWS official pricing page for any variations based on exchange rates. And then, intent candidates. This certification is perfect for those who may not necessarily build AI/ML solutions but are familiar with these technologies on AWS. Testing options are, you have flexibility here. You can take the exam at the Pearson VUE Testing Center or through an online proctored exam. Next, languages offered. The exam is available in English, Japanese, Korean, and so on. This certification validates your understanding of in-demand concepts in artificial intelligence, machine learning, and generative AI. This can sharpen your competitive edge and position as well for your career growth and better earning opportunities. Now let's get into what this exam covers. Candidates are expected to demonstrate the ability to understand AI, ML, and generative AI concepts, methods, and strategies, particularly how they apply on AWS. Ask relevant questions within their organization to determine the best uses of AI/ML technologies. Determine the correct type of AI/ML technologies for specific use cases. Lastly, use AI/ML and generative AI technologies responsibly to ensure ethical and effective deployment. Next, let's see the recommended AWS knowledge. Although you do not need extensive AWS experience, familiarity with a few key areas can be helpful. Those are core AWS services like Amazon EC2, S3, AWS Lambda, and SageMaker. An understanding of AWS's shared responsibility model, especially around security and compliance. AWS Identity and Access Management for resource access control. Lastly, knowledge of AWS's global infrastructure and service pricing models. Now let's move on to job tasks that are out of the scope. For this exam, you won't be expected to perform technical tasks such as developing AI/ML model, conducting data engineering, hyperparameter tuning, and implementing security protocols for AI systems. This certification focuses on more practical AI/ML knowledge rather than hands-on development. Now let's look at the exam content. The exam includes a mix of question types to assess your knowledge, such as multiple choice and multiple response questions, where you'll pick one or more correct answers. Ordering questions, where you'll arrange responses in the correct sequence. Matching questions, where you'll match items based on prompts. Lastly, case studies, where you'll analyze a scenario with multiple questions to assess your applied knowledge. And that's a structured look at the AWS Certified AI Practitioner Certification. Perfect for professionals seeking to deepen their understanding of AI and ML concepts on AWS and to start their AI journey on a solid foundation. Now let's dive into the AWS Certified Solutions Architect Associate Certification. This is one of the most popular AWS certifications and an ideal choice if you're looking to deepen your cloud architecture skills. The category of the certification is at associate level, perfect for those with foundational AWS knowledge or IT experience, whether in the cloud or on-premises. The exam duration is you will have 130 minutes to complete the exam. The exam format includes 65 questions, mostly multiple choice or multiple response. The cost is $150. Be sure to check AWS's official pricing page for any regional cost variations. The testing options are, you have the option to take this exam at the Pearson VUE Testing Center or through an online proctored exam. The languages that they offer is, this exam is available in English, French, German, Italian, and so on. This certification is designed for those who want to architect cost-optimized, high-performing cloud solutions on AWS. Let's cover the core skills the exam assesses. Candidates should be able to design solutions with AWS services to meet current and projected business needs. Develop architectures that are secure, resilient, high-performing, and cost-optimized. Lastly, review existing solutions and identify areas for improvement. And next, target candidate description. The ideal candidate should have at least 1 year of hands-on experience designing cloud solutions using AWS services. Now understand the exam content. There are two main question types on the exam. Multiple choice, where you'll select the one correct answer. Multiple responses, where 2 or more answers may be correct out of 5 or more options. One more important thing is, unanswered questions are scored as incorrect, but there are no penalty for guessing. Remember, the exam includes 50 scored questions and 15 unscored questions. AWS gathers data from these unscored questions to evaluate them for future use, and they won't affect your overall score. Next, about the exam results. The exam is scored on the scale from 100 to 1000, with a minimum passing score of 720. This compensatory scoring model means you do not need to pass each section individually, only the overall exam. Your results will include a classification of your performance in each section, giving you insight into your strengths and areas to improve. Some sections carry more weight, meaning they have more questions and can impact your score more heavily. Moving ahead, let's explore AWS Certified Developer Associate Certification. This is a key certification if you are looking to enhance your skills in AWS cloud development. The category is, the certification is at associate level, ideal for developers who are ready to showcase their cloud development skills and understand AWS environments. The exam duration is 130 minutes long. The exam format is, it consists of 65 questions including multiple choice and multiple response formats. The cost of this exam is $150. Check AWS's pricing page for additional regional cost details. The testing options are, you can take this exam at a Pearson VUE Testing Center or through an online proctored option. The languages offered are, this exam is available in English, Japanese, Korean, and so on. The AWS Certified Developer Associate Certification validates your skills in developing, optimizing, packaging, and deploying AWS applications. It's great for anyone starting out in AWS or working in IT or cloud development roles. This exam is designed to assess the skills like, we'll break down what skills the AWS Certified Developer Associate exam is designed to assess. including developing and optimizing applications on AWS, deploying applications using CI/CD workflows, securing applications code and managing data protection, identifying and resolving application issues. The target candidate description is ideally candidates that have 1+ years of hands-on experience developing application using AWS services. Now let's see the recommended AWS knowledge. You should know how to develop and secure applications using AWS Service APIs, the AWS CLI, and the SDKs. Use a CI/CD pipeline to deploy applications on AWS as well. Now let's see out-of-scope tasks. This exam doesn't cover some tasks like designing architectures. Let's understand exam content. The questions are a mix of multiple choice and multiple response types, where you need to choose one or more correct answers. There are 50 scored questions that affect your final score, and 15 unscored questions to evaluate your future use. Moving forward, let's dive into the AWS Certified SysOps Administrator Associate certification. This certification is perfect for those in a cloud operations role and looking to prove their skills in monitoring and maintaining AWS workloads. The category is the certification is at associate level, ideal for system administrators or those focused on AWS cloud operations. The exam duration is 130 minutes long. The exam format includes 65 questions with multiple choice and multiple response types. The cost for the exam is $150. For additional pricing details, check the AWS website. The testing options are you can take the exam at the Pearson VUE Testing Center or online through a proctored exam. The languages that they offer is the exam is available in English, Japanese, Korean, and simplified Chinese. The AWS Certified SysOps Administrator Associate certification validates your expertise in monitoring AWS workloads, implementing security controls, and applying networking concepts. It's ideal if you are in an IT role involving AWS cloud administration. Now we'll walk through the core areas this exam covers, including supporting and maintaining AWS workloads based on AWS well-architectured framework, operating workloads using the AWS Management Console and CLI, implementing security controls for compliance, monitoring, logging, and troubleshooting AWS systems, applying networking concepts like DNS and TCP/IP. Lastly, performing business continuity and disaster recovery procedures. The target candidate description is ideally, candidates have 1 year of hands-on experience managing AWS workloads, with skills in networking, security, and troubleshooting. The recommended AWS knowledge and experience are candidates should have at least 1 year of experience with AWS technology, proficiency with the AWS Management Console and CLI, and an understanding of the AWS well-architectured framework. Now, about the exam content. The questions are a mix of multiple choice and multiple response, with 50 scored questions that impact your score and 15 unscored questions that AWS uses for future testing. Now the another certification, so-called AWS Certified Data Engineer Associate exam. If you are looking to prove your skills in managing data on AWS, this certification is for you. The exam is an associate level certification, so it's perfect for those with some experience in data engineering, but not quite for experts. You have 130 minutes to complete the exam, which is about 2 hours and 10 minutes. There are 65 questions in total. Some will be multiple choice and some will be multiple response. The cost is $150. Now let's see where you can take it. You can take the exam either at a Pearson VUE Test Center or online with a proctor watching you from home. The exam is available in English, Japanese, Korean, and simplified Chinese. Basically, this certification is all about working with data on AWS. The exam checks your skills in tasks like ingesting and transforming data, getting data ready for use, creating data pipelines, that is orchestrating how data moves and changes, designing data models, making sure data is organized in the right way. Lastly, maintaining data quality, keeping your data clean, secure, and properly governed. The exam also tests your ability to monitor and optimize data pipelines, ensuring things run smoothly and cost-effectively. Who should take the exam? The exam is meant for people with about 2 to 3 years of experience in data engineering and at least 1 to 2 years of hands-on AWS experience. What you should already know. You should know how to set up and maintain ETL pipeline, that is extract, transform, load for data. Use basic programming concepts to build these pipelines. Understand how to use Git for version control and data lakes for storing data. Lastly, have a general understanding of networking, storage, and computing. In AWS, you should know how to use AWS services to build and manage data pipelines. This includes things like encryption, data protection, and logging. You should also be able to write SQL queries on AWS services to analyze data. Moving ahead, understand about the certification exam. This exam will have two types of questions. Multiple choice, in which one correct answer is given. Multiple responses, where you'll need to pick more than one correct answer. Next we have is AWS Certified Machine Learning Engineer Associate. Alright, let's break down what you need to know for AWS Certified Machine Learning Engineer Associate exam. The duration and questions are, you'll have 130 minutes to complete 65 questions. The cost of the exam fee is $150 USD. Where to take the exam? You can choose to take the exam either at a Pearson VUE test center or online with the proctor. The exam is offered in English, Japanese, Korean, and simplified Chinese. The certification is aimed at individuals with at least 1 year of experience using Amazon SageMaker and other machine learning tools on AWS. If you're a backend software developer, DevOps engineer, data engineer, MLOps engineer, or data scientist, this is for you. Now, the target candidate should have a year of experience using SageMaker and also be familiar with related AWS services. Here's what you should already know before taking the exam. A basic understanding of common ML algorithms and when to use them. Knowledge of data engineering, like how to ingest and transform data for ML pipelines. Experience with CI/CD pipelines and infrastructure as a code. Lastly, familiarity with software engineering best practices for creating clean, reusable code. Now on the AWS side, make sure you also know how to use SageMaker for building and deploying models. Work with AWS data services for preparing data for ML models. Deploy applications and infrastructure on AWS. Use monitoring tools for logging and troubleshooting ML systems. Set up automated CI/CD pipelines using AWS services. Lastly, understand AWS security best practices for identity management, encryption, and data protection. Now let's dive into the AWS Certified Solutions Architect Professional exam. Here's what you need to know. This is for professionals with at least 2 years of hands-on experience designing and deploying cloud architecture on AWS. Before you dive into the exam, you should be comfortable with the tools like AWS CLI, AWS APIs, AWS CloudFormation, and the AWS Management Console. Plus, knowing a scripting language and having experience with both Windows and Linux environments is a plus. You should also have the skills to provide best practice guidance on architecture across multiple applications and enterprise projects. Map business goals to architectural needs. Make architectural recommendations for implementing and deploying applications on AWS. Design hybrid architectures using AWS technologies like VPN and AWS Direct Connection. Lastly, set up continuous integration and deployment processes on AWS. We look at the format, question types, and also everything you need to know. You'll have 180 minutes to answer 75 questions, which will be in either multiple choice or multiple response format. The exam costs $300 USD. You can take the exam at a Pearson VUE test center or choose it on online proctored exam. To earn the certification, you need to pass SAP C02 exam. And don't worry, there is an exam guide to help you prep. Now let's dive into the AWS Certified Security Specialty exam. Who should take this exam? This exam is for professionals working on security roles. If you're securing AWS products or services, the certification is for you. I know you will be having the doubt of experience level, right? The ideal candidate should have 3 to 5 years of experience in designing security solutions, with at least 2 years of hands-on experience securing AWS workloads. Before you take this exam, you should have a knowledge of the AWS Shared Responsibility model, security controls on AWS environments, logging and monitoring strategies, vulnerability management and security automation, integrating AWS security services with third-party tools, disaster recovery controls like backup strategies. Lastly, cryptography, key management, and identity access management. Now let's talk about the AWS Certified DevOps Engineer Professional exam and how it can level up your career in cloud engineering. Who should take this exam? This exam is designed for individuals at least having 2 years of experience working with AWS environments. It's for professionals who want to demonstrate their expertise in provisioning, operating, and managing distributed systems on AWS. Before you take the exam, you should be familiar with programming, that is, experience in at least one high-level programming language. Infrastructure automation, building highly automated infrastructures. Next is operating systems, administering different operating systems. DevOps methodologies, understanding modern development and operation processes. Next comes continuous delivery systems, implementing and managing continuous delivery systems on AWS. Security and governance, automating security controls, compliance validation, and governance processes. Last is the monitoring and logging, defining and deploying monitoring, metrics, and also logging systems on AWS. Now let's understand about the exam. You'll have 180 minutes to answer 75 questions in multiple choice and multiple response formats. The exam costs $300. And about location, you can take the exam either at a Pearson VUE test center or online with a proctor. Next, here's the key knowledge you need before taking the exam. 2+ years of experience, provisioning, operating and managing AWS environments. Experience with software development lifecycle and programming or scripting. Automating infrastructure and understanding modern development processes. Lastly, securing AWS infrastructure is also recommended knowledge. The exam consists of 2 types of questions. Multiple choice, where 1 correct answer and 3 distractors. Multiple responses, 2 or more correct answers from a list of 5 or more options. Now let's dive into the AWS Certified Security Specialty Exam and see how the certification can set you apart in cloud security. The exam category is a specialty level certification, perfect for those who want to showcase expertise in AWS security solutions. I know you will have a doubt of how exam is like. You'll have 170 minutes to complete 65 questions in both multiple choice and multiple response formats. The exam costs $300. Where can you take this exam? You have 2 options for taking the exam. An in-person test at Pearson VUE testing centers or an online proctored exam. This exam is offered in 6 languages like English, Japanese, Korean and so on. Now let's see what is the certification about. The AWS Certified Security Specialty validates your skills in creating and implementing secure AWS solutions. It tests your knowledge of data classification and AWS data protection mechanisms, data encryption methods and how to implement them on AWS. Lastly, secure internet protocols and AWS mechanisms for securing data transfers. Who should take this exam? If you're in a security role, this certification is a great way to validate your skills. The exam is designed for candidates who have a solid understanding of data classifications, encryption, and secure internet protocols. 2 or more years of production deployment experience in AWS security services. Lastly, the ability to make the trade-off decisions regarding costs, security, and deployment complexity. What knowledge should you have? Candidates should have the following experience and understanding of AWS Shared Responsibility Model and its practical application. Security controls for AWS environments. Logging and monitoring strategies. Vulnerability management and security automation. How to integrate AWS security services with third-party tools. Cryptography, key management, and identity access management. Lastly, threat detection and incident response strategies. The exam consists of 2 types of questions. That is multiple choice, where 1 correct answer with 3 distractors. Next, multiple response, 2 or more correct answers from a list of 5 or more options. And remember, unanswered questions are scored as incorrect, so there is no penalty for guessing. Ready to become AWS certified? This certification is a great way to validate your security expertise and gain confidence in your ability to secure AWS solutions. Now, we are diving into the AWS Certified Machine Learning Specialty Certification, designed for anyone serious about ML development in the AWS cloud. What does this credential do? It's designed to help organizations identify and grow talent for critical cloud initiatives. If you are into building, training, tuning, and deploying machine learning models on AWS, this certification can be a game changer. Who is this exam for? This certification is perfect for developers and data scientists with over 2 years of hands-on experience in machine learning or deep learning on AWS. You should also be comfortable with the intuition behind ML algorithms, basic hyperparameter optimization, familiarity with ML and deep learning frameworks. Lastly, best practices in model training, deployment, and operations. How do you earn the certification? To earn the certification, you will need to pass the AWS Certified Machine Learning Specialty Exam. The test includes 65 questions with a mix of multiple choice and multiple response formats. What about the logistics? You'll have 180 minutes to finish the exam. It costs $300 and is available at both Pearson VUE testing centers and as an online proctored exam. The exam is offered in 4 languages: English, Japanese, Korean, and simplified Chinese. Now let's see, what knowledge will you be tested on? The exam validates a candidate's ability to select the right ML approach for a business problem, choose the right AWS services to implement ML solutions. Lastly, design and implement scalable, cost-effective, secure ML solutions on AWS. Let's see the ideal candidates. Those who have 2+ years of experience in developing, architecting, and managing ML workloads on AWS are the best fit. Additionally, target candidates should understand basic ML algorithm intuition, hyperparameter tuning, frameworks for ML and deep learning. Lastly, best practices for training, deployment, and operations. Next, let's see how are the questions structured. The exam has 2 types of questions: multiple choice, where 1 correct answer with 3 distractors, and then multiple response, 2 or more correct answers out of list of 5 or more. As same for every certification, there is no penalty for guessing. So if you're unsure, go ahead and make an educated guess. Moving forward, let's explore the last certification, that is AWS Certified Advanced Networking Specialty Certification. Ideal for those ready to make their networking skills to next level with AWS. Now let's see what is the certification about. This credential is designed to validate expertise in designing and managing network architecture across AWS services, helping companies identify professionals with the right skills for complex cloud networking tasks. We will also see who should consider taking this exam. This certification is aimed at individuals with 5 years of hands-on experience in networking, specifically in architecting and implementing network solutions. Recommended experience includes in-depth knowledge of AWS technologies and security best practices, familiarity with advanced networking architecture like IP/VPN, MPLS, and VPLS, experience with automation tools for designing, implementing, and optimizing network architectures, including routing and multi-region setups. Lastly, knowledge of CIDR, subnetting, AWS, WAF, IDS, IPS, DDoS protection, and EDOS mitigation. Now let's see how do you earn the certification. To achieve this, you'll need to pass the AWS Certified Advanced Networking Specialty Exam. It consists of 65 questions in both multiple choice and multiple response formats. What's the exam logistics? You'll have 170 minutes to complete the exam, which costs $300. You can take it at a Pearson VUE testing center or through online proctoring. The exam is available in English, Japanese, Korean, and simplified Chinese. Let's see the skills that will be assessed. The certification will validate your ability to design and implement hybrid and cloud-based networking solutions using AWS, operate and maintain network architectures for AWS and hybrid environments, use AWS tools for deploying and automating networking tasks. Lastly, secure AWS networks using native AWS networking tools and services. Now let's see what kind of candidate is the best fit for the certification. Ideally, candidates should have at least 5 years of networking experience and 2+ years in cloud and hybrid networking. Key knowledge areas include AWS networking details and how they integrate with other AWS services, security best practices for AWS. Lastly, understand of AWS compute and storage options. How are the questions structured? You will encounter multiple choice questions with 1 correct answer and 3 distractors, multiple response questions with 2 or more correct answers among 5 or more options. So, if you're serious about building secure, reliable network architectures on AWS, the AWS Certified Advanced Networking Specialty Certification can be an invaluable credential for your career. So, that wraps up our overview of all the AWS certifications. So, if you've got your certification, you'll have access to great career opportunities. Now let's go to the career opportunities. You could work as a cloud architect, solution architect, DevOps engineer, data engineer, or security specialist. The pay will depend on your experience and where you are based. But these roles offer excellent career growth and good salaries. Let me tell you some exam preparation tips. Once certified, you'll have an amazing career opportunities. But before you go, here are some quick exam preparation tips. First, use AWS free training. Hands-on labs and practice exams are the must. Apply AWS tools. Practice using AWS in real-world scenarios. Next, take practice exams. Familiarize yourself with the exam format. Then, focus on core concepts. Pay attention to key topics like security and costs. Lastly, AWS forums. Get tips from the community. With these tips, you'll be ready to pass the exam and boost your career. Now, with that, we have come to the end of this AWS certification video. If you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up and feel free to drop any questions or doubts in the comments. We'll respond to it as soon as possible. Don't forget to check out for more videos and playlists and subscribe to Edureka's YouTube channel to keep learning. Thanks for watching and happy learning.